All right. All right, family. Thank you for being here today. It's a lot of controversy going on at this time, about, who, these Hebrews and these Jews and so on and so forth. And, a lot of people, you'll get, lulled in, to what's happening. You get to siding with the black Hebrew, and that's all right. You understand what I'm saying? That's all right. But see, it's a game that's being played out here today on both sides. On both sides, the Ashkenazi Jew and that Hebrew nigga. You see, because they all, both of them is anti-African. They talking about anti-goddamn Semitic. Both of them is anti-African, and so that's what we got to be clear. You see, once you understand the Torah, you understand the Old Testament and the New Testament. And they are anti-African, and they didn't lie on our legacy. They didn't lie on our legacy. And so, yes, there is some truth in the Bible. Okay, I want to be clear about that. It's some things. Do I got my marker? Yeah. It's some things in the Bible that speak to the truth of our African history that you don't even see in academia. You see, now let's make reference of some of these facts. Let's make reference to some of these facts. Now, in the Bible, Egypt is called the land of Ham. Okay? And so, you got to understand that's the Cam or Kim. You got to understand that in Hebrew, in Arabic, and even in the so-called Medunata, you see, there is no vowels. You see, there is no vowels. So be clear about that. You see, and so as we get into the presentation, it'll be easier for you to understand how they slight. See, when they don't want to say Ham, because Egypt is the land of Ham, and the definition of Ham is black. Not only black, but burnt. So we don't want to be mistaken, because they'll try to make it seem like, this is some, Caucasoid with a skin tan. We don't want to assume that, because ain't no damn. And then, this is what they try to insinuate. But we know they would never use a word such as black to identify who they are when they have defined black all through the Western hemisphere, the Western world, as something of evil, of disdain, and you know what I'm saying, of evilness and disdain and darkness and anything. And so why would they even use that term for themselves, knowing that this is how they define black in the Western world? And so by understanding, see, in the Bible, which we're going to get to, you see, which is critical, because I can we're going to get to throwing blows immediately. You see, Egypt being the land of Ham, being the land of black, okay, the land of black. Okay, so in the Bible, they identify Egypt as a black land. Okay, and when you get off into the Talmud, they speak real nasty about Egypt. They don't venerate Egypt. See, they don't venerate Egypt. Now, also, which is very clear, Egypt and Ethiopia in the Bible are brothers. You see, in academia, they're gonna portray that Egypt and Ethiopia, which is Nubia, is two different races. Okay, they always try to separate Egypt and Ethiopia in academia, Western academia. You go to the university or you get any of these goddamn, or even go on YouTube. You see, and you get it from an academic or a so-called Western academic, they're going to try to separate Egypt from Ethiopia and make Ethiopia appear to be, slaves and subservient to Egypt. Okay, they're not going to portray them to be, they'll highlight the 25th dynasty as if that was the only influence that Ethiopia had on Egypt. But it's clear in the Bible that Egypt and Ethiopia is brothers. Okay, and they, not only brothers, but nationalistic military federations. What do I mean by that? Many times in the Bible, when they say Egypt, when you go into the book of Isaiah and he's spitting a curse on Egypt or on Ethiopia, Egypt and Ethiopia are always spoken of in the same breath. They don't leave them out because they know that it's a federation. So if they speak ill of Egypt, they're going to speak ill of Ethiopia at the same time. And so they, even also in this federation, Egypt, Ethiopia, you will see Seba or Saba. Okay? Seba or Saba, which is Sabaeans, which is what today they call Arabia. You see, this is also in that federation. In all of what you call today the Middle East is identified with the Hamitic nations of being black. Okay, and so many of these prophets, Abraham coming out of Ur of Chaldea, you see, which was founded by Nimrod, which is the son of Cush, Ethiopia. Now, what's clear when we say Ethiopia in the ancient times, we speaking of Sudan, and that's very significant. It's very significant that I state that because, our brothers and sisters in Ethiopia today, they have an affinity to, with this, to them Sabaean mean, some Arabic, light-skinned nigger syndrome. And I must state that, you know what I'm saying? They seem to have disconnected themselves, not all, but a lot. Okay. And I'm going to state that, where they've separated themselves with the other, Africans and shit, and they don't even connect to that, a lot of them, you see? And so they go off into their own, their own identity. You see, of being Sabaean, of the bloodline of Solomon and Sheba, and everybody else is some Hermetics and so on, and they Semitic. You see, and so they done bought on to that religious racism. And you understand what I'm saying? So I had to smack them and put the facts that the ancient Ethiopia, Sudan, which Sud means burnt black. So I had to do that. I got to take it back to the origins. You see? So when you see where it say Nimrod, son of Cush or son of Ethiopia, that means Nimrod, the son of Sudan. Okay, Nubia. Okay, so that's very important. You see that Mesopotamia and Mesopotamia come out of Sudan. It show you. Now, another key thing as we move into, which I think I should bring out, that Cush, Ethiopia, Sudan is the oldest son of Ham. Okay? Now that's key. You see, because we've always stated that Ethiopia, Nubia, is older, is the mother of Egypt, and that's very profound. So many things that they say in the Bible is correct. It's so, but then, then they come with the with the overlay for the underlay. You see what I'm saying? And so we have to watch that. You see, so Ethiopia, Cush, Sudan is the oldest brother. He's older than Egypt, which is correct. You see, oldest brother, okay? And so that's very significant. So let's get on off into this. Let's get on off into this. And we're going to be dealing with, you know, the most important figures. We're going to be dealing with the most important figures. And we're going to be dealing with a lot of, you know, with maps, which I love to work with. You see? Okay, before I get started, let me make sure, before I even go and see, just as soon as I did that, you know, a couple more family members came in. And so we got to get them on in here. We got to get them in. You know, so if y'all, I got to pause for the calls, make sure, because family want this. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, they want this. And we got to make sure they get fed too. Got to make sure they get fed. Okay. All right, let's go. That's good. Let's okay. Cool. We good. Let's get back to this. Okay. Now, let me bring this down. Now, what's key when we dealing with now, because we talking about who are the Jews. And so, you know, and we're going to give genealogies. Now, Jews is from out of the tribe of Judah, okay? But it's a greater collection of, you know, these Hebrews. Or I better yet, the term Israelite, okay? The term is Israelite, not even Hebrew. You see what I'm saying? Is Israelite. Is Israelite. Now, the 12 tribes of Israel is what we're going to be dealing with, okay? And we understand that these is mythological characters, but we're going to take control of it because the historical peoples of that land were black, and the Bible states that. But somehow God has given them, you know, the go-ahead to go in there and destroy our African people and take control of the land. Now, this is very key. What are we looking at right now? Now, we're looking at where the area where the ark, Noah's Ark, supposedly landed. If you look at the top, you see a triangle. You see, and then at the top, you see the three sons of Noah, three racial groups in three continents. Okay? And so, better yet, let's look at the sons of Noah first. Now, coming down from Adam, let's deal with this now. A lot of this is a cult. So I don't want you to think you getting no Bible class, because you're not, we using the Bible, but what the things we talking about today will get your ass thrown out the church. They ain't gonna let you up in the church and teach this. Now, when they speak of Adam, you see, you know, one of the spellings, and the correct spelling is Ad, A-D, Ham. Okay, Ad, Ham. Okay, showing that the root, where is that at? Right there. Now, that's Arabic. You see, now that's supposedly a Semitic language. Okay, Adham, and it's also in Hebrew too. Okay, and so we've already, now let me go on and get the definition for, so we can have clear understanding as we move through this. Let me go on down here and get you the definition and put it so you understand. Now, we taking this definition out of the Calmet's Biblical Encyclopedia. Now, this encyclopedia was dated to 1832. Okay, so this ain't some shit from yesterday. This is from 1832. And so you see here for the definition of Ham, we see Ham or Cham or Cham or Kam or Kim. You see, understanding that we just stated that there is no vowels. You see, there is no vowels in the Hebrew or the Medu Nada or the Arabic. Okay, there is no vowels. Okay, and so you sometimes they'll say ham. You then sometimes they'll say him. They'll put H-I-M. You see him. You see like Elohim, which is really Elohim. You see, was stating that God is black. Okay, which we're gonna get off into that, and I got the receipts to back that up. Now you see, Ham or Cham is burnt, swarthy, black. So ain't no mistaking that. Okay, and he was the youngest son of Noah. One day, when Noah had drank wine, Ham perceived his parent lying in his tent with his person exposed, which he ridiculed. Noah, when he awoke, was informed of his sin and said, "Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be to his brethren." Ham was the father of Cush, Mizraim, Egypt, Cush, Ethiopia, Sudan, Punt, which is Libya, and Canaan, which is the stolen land that we know of today as Israel. So right there, it show you that Cush, Punt, even Punt, which is Libya. So that is also, in reference to Carthage with Hannibal. You understand, Northern Africa, because today we see the Arab is in there today who did not come in to around 711 AD, just got there. He been there for a minute, but it was long after the ancient civilization had long been over with, okay? It is believed that Ham had Africa for his inheritance and that he peopled it, but he dwelt in Egypt, which is very significant. He dwelt in Egypt. So you see there, that's where you get Ham or Kam or Cham, burnt, swarthy, and black. So right there, the Bible documents that ancient Egypt was a black nation, period. Okay, that's very critical. You see, okay, Africa is called the land of Ham in several places of Psalms. Okay, now they get corny, even more corny at the bottom. Many writers have been of opinion that the posterity of Ham designed and formed the presumptuous project of building the Tower of Babel. But this is without proofs. And goddamn it, we go right in the Bible and it says Nimrod was the founder of Babylon. Okay, and Nimrod was the son. So what is this motherfucker talking about? See, that's when, because they know Mesopotamia is the source of Abraham, who is the father of the Israelite nation. You see, and you right there, you see Abraham. See, we got to know these words. We got to know what we working with. You see? And so, right now, the Ashkenazi done already ran out. I'm one motherfucker that do not want to debate, because I ain't going to have no mercy on them. You see? They're going to use all that after the fact shit, all them old books that they wrote. You understand what I'm saying? But we going to deal with the truth as, our ancestors recorded it. Okay? So now we know what, the understanding of Ham. And when you come back, you see Adam is Adham. Okay? Not just Adam, Adham. To signify that the first man and woman was black. So we starting from the root. We're going straight to the root. So when we say who are the real Jews or who are the real Israelites, according to the book, we know it's mythological, but after we acknowledge this fact, we're going to uproot that. We just, you know what I'm saying? We lay down, just because you don't need a sludge hammer to kill an ant. You understand? We can use the book itself to defeat the Ashkenaz and the Hebrew Israelite. And when we're ready to just do away with it all, we can just pull the rug from up under their ass with a greater truth. You see, it comes in waves. It comes in waves. And so you see here, you see Adam, And see, you see from Adam, you know, the first two sons of Adam and Eve, you understand, was Cain and Abel. Cain killed Abel, and they had a third son, Seth. Okay, Seth, which is Set. Okay, you know, which is Set, and you see, and come down through. And so after the flood, the line of Cain is washed away. You see, the line of Cain ended with the flood. And so it was the line of Seth that carried on after the flood through Noah and his three sons. You see, so after the flood, Noah is the second Adam. Everybody after the flood supposedly comes from Noah. Okay. And so if Noah, because we know, you know, we know DNA. You see, we know the DNA. We know, you know, melanin and the science of melanin and so on and so forth. Now, if Ham is burnt, if Ham is swarthy and black, there's no way for a white man to be able to produce a black man. That just ain't gonna happen. No white man, no white woman gonna produce no man that is black or burnt or none of that. You see what I'm saying? And so the way right there, they didn't put in a circuit breaker. You see? Now, this is where, you know, the energy, they got to stop that energy now. You see? And so they're going to put in the circuit breaker. The circuit breaker is Ham was cursed black. You see? Ham was, and it says in the Talmud that Ham was smitten in his skin, even though in the Bible it says that the curse was put on Canaan, his son. You see? But in the Talmud it says that Ham was smitten in his skin. So they acknowledge that Ham was black. We understand that Cush is also black. Ethiopia, we understand that Egypt is the land of Ham. Understand he's black.